well before engineering started, I had created a roadmap for myself. Like, okay, I have to prepare DSA, do some good projects, and maintain a nice CGPA. So I had put that into my mind, and I started DSA from Apna College even before engineering, like the proper first time started.
Is there any mistake that you would not like to repeat?
Breaking my streaks, because I realized that once I break the streak and then come back to either DSA or even any tech stack, like most of me say any project, any web development related tech stack or anything, I realized that there's some sort of friction in my head. I feel like I have forgotten everything. I feel like revisiting the same thing again and again and repeating everything. But once I'm consistent, and when I'm consistent and come back to it the next day, I don't know, for some reason there is some lubrication in my mind. It's very smooth for me to and it feels, every concept feels fresh, even though I've done a lot of days back, but since I'm consistent, it feels fresh. Alpha is where it gave me a structured roadmap. Like me as a person, I want everything to be structured. Like even before I start doing, I need to have a clear roadmap in my mind. Like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Otherwise, everything is so haphazard and then too many things available on the internet. So it's I feel lost. So Alpha gave me this structured content. Okay, this is what I have to do, and I have to get a strong base. So first with Alpha, I got a strong base over a DSA.
What do you think was the wow factor in your resume or in your profile?
So it was spread across various domains like web dev, AI ML, and then data analytics. So I had a base over all these things. I had explored many domains, and also that my hackathons, I think that was another wow factor in my resume. Recently, my perception towards DSA has changed. Before, I used to just look at DSA like getting the solutions. I used to regret and I used to feel guilty when I couldn't get the solutions, and I used to blame myself. But now that perception has changed, now I look more at it towards like understanding the problem. Even if I know the optimized approach for it, always move from the brute force to the optimized approach. People usually speak about the number of questions solved in LeetCode, but what is also important is number of submissions for each question, because that shows you moved from brute force to optimized to an even more optimized. So that is also another important thing.
Hi everyone, and today we're going to interview Monisha. Monisha is our DSA in development, मतलब Sigma student, and she recently got selected in LinkedIn. तो आज हम मोनिशा की complete placement preparation journey के बारे में जान रहे होंगे, and we'll also get to know about the hiring process of LinkedIn. Okay, so Monisha, tell us about the entire hiring process of LinkedIn. Like how many rounds were there and what was asked in each round?
So ma'am, the first round was the online assessment round, in which we were asked 3 questions. I would say easy, medium, hard. And 2 of them were about binary search, and 1 of them was about array manipulation. So that was the first day, and it was online assessment round. And then the next day, there were 2 rounds, which were the offline rounds. Both of them were face-to-face interview round. The first one was the written DSA round, and we were asked 2 questions based on trees and a 1D dynamic programming. And the next round was the HR interview round, and that was mostly based on the resume-based questions.
ठीक है. And finally, how many students got the offer for internship?
7.
7 students got, and you were part of those 7
Yeah.
students. ठीक है. So right now you're in your second year or third year of college?
Third year.
Third year of college, and you're going to do your internship in summers. This summers. ठीक है. So Monisha, tell us the entire internship preparation strategy that you had. Like, what did you study in your first year? What did you study in your second year? And now, right now, you're in your third year. So what are you studying right now for your placements?
So, well before engineering started, I had created a roadmap for myself. Like, okay, I have to prepare DSA, do some good projects, and maintain a nice CGPA. So I had put that into my mind, and I started DSA from Apna College even before engineering, like the proper first time started.
Okay.
And then I started preparing. I used to do more of LeetCode. And then we used to participate a lot in hackathons with my friends, and my friends, we share like the same mindset. All of us were willing to participate in hackathons, and we wanted to kind of grab nice opportunities. So we went to hackathons together. I think together we've like participated in from 5 to 6 hackathons, and we have almost won in almost all of the hackathons. And so yeah, basically the projects and all, everything was handled by these hackathons, and then DSA has to do LeetCode. And even our college gives us a lot of projects, so that's where projects were dealt with, and DSA was the LeetCode. And then CGPA also was very important, because we don't know from where we get the opportunity. So I maintained a decent CGPA and went. that is above 9 or 9.5 above would work. So
Okay. And what was the tech stack that you used in your projects?
mostly M.Tech, and it's spread across various domains like AI, ML, web development, and data analytics. So these were.
So tell us more about your hackathon experience. Like, how did you start participating in hackathons? What was your first hackathon like, and how do you get to know where the hackathons are, and how do you prepare that for yourself?
So the first hackathon was again a 24 hours hackathon. It was a little bit tiring, but then at the end we got the best UI UX design award. So that's where all the motivation started.
So how did you find the friend group to go to that hackathon?
So we are almost like in the same year. So we somehow know each other, and our classmates, most of them are my classmates and friends only. And yeah, it's the same group.
And from where do you find out where the hackathons are?
So our college sends us in our mail IDs, or there is this platform called Unstop and LinkedIn, or it gets circulated in many college groups. So I think there we get most of the information. College groups, Instagram sometimes, and LinkedIn and Google articles. So there we can get information about.
Okay. So apart from DSA, was there anything else that was part of the interview process?
Mostly LinkedIn focused on DSA, but then during the HR round, the interviewer was, I guess, also looking towards what projects I had done and what was my contribution towards it, and how well I knew, whatever projects I had done interested me, not just for the sake of doing it, but with where was I actually interested in doing it. So even projects helped, and like in-depth understanding of the core concepts, that also mattered.
So, was the HR round the third round which happened
Correct.
LinkedIn? Okay.
The online assessment of the first round, and these two were in person.
Okay. So, how many months of DSA preparation did you give?
I can't say that properly because it was very inconsistent. I used to break my streaks a lot.
So, just tell us on average how many hours did you spend for your DSA preparation? On average, was it 4 hours, 5 hours?
Per day?
Per day. 2 hours.
Sometimes it used to be very long, 4 hours, 5 hours. Sometimes just 1 hour or something. But then I have this thing like if I have to do it for a really long time, which is bad. Even if it's not for 4 hours or 5 hours continuously, even if it's just for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, we have to spend at least a little amount of time every day, just so that we maintain that consistency and we don't break the streak. Just so that today I don't have much time, so I'm not doing DSA. That's a very bad reason that I can give for myself. So that's one lesson that I've learned. And yeah, so before even I was in the mindset that I used to do it, I have to do it. If I'm doing it, I should do it for a long time. Otherwise, I shouldn't do it. So yeah.
Okay. And was there some special strategy that you used in your preparation journey?
When I started DSA, I didn't get strategies. But then again, when I did, and then even after LinkedIn, I just got some strategies for myself. That is, okay, before LinkedIn also I knew this. So DSA has many concepts like trees, graphs, etc. And many students get overwhelmed by that. But I just divided DSA into just two things: non-recursion based and recursion based. Recursion based, wherein we have recursion, backtracking, graphs, trees, everything. I put it in recursion based topics, because if I know recursion and especially backtracking, then I can solve. I noticed that I was able to solve any question among any of these concepts that I mentioned. And apart from recursion, which is the non-recursion, like array, string manipulation, two pointers, and all of that, greedy, sliding window, all of that is just based on there's some logic, and if I get that logic and I write my syntax neatly, it's mainly the for loops, improvising on the for loops and getting some strategy. So I just divided into two things: non-recursion and recursion. And I realized that recursion based all these concepts I was able to do really well. So I had to focus more on these, writing for loops neatly and identifying what was that logic. So just two things in my mind. So it was not many concepts for me, just these two concepts. So
okay. And what was the role of Alpha in your journey?
Alpha is where it gave me a structured roadmap. Like me, as a person, I want everything to be structured. Like even before I start doing, I need to have a clear roadmap in my mind. Like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Otherwise, everything is so haphazard and then too many things available on the internet. So it's I feel lost. So Alpha gave me this structured content. Okay, this is what I have to do, and I have to get a strong base. So first with Alpha, I got a strong base over a DSA, and on top of that, any other questions that to solve was on top of that. And especially backtracking, Alpha really helped me with that, because backtracking is where I've seen that many students struggle. And if backtracking goes wrong, then everything, graphs, DP, everything fails. So backtracking is really important, I felt, and that also it really helped.
Okay. And what was the role of communication skills in interviews?
Communication skills, I think that also mattered during the HR interview round, because during the HR interview round, out of 11 people, 7 people were selected. I don't know what was actually the criteria, but communication is where I can express myself to the interviewer, and if I can't tell what I am supposed to tell, what I feel like telling, then it's not about whether I get selected or not, but then I feel really sad that, okay, I was not able to convince others, or I was not able to express myself. So I feel somewhat like a mute person, and I don't like to be like that. So whatever it is, I just like to voice out my opinion. So yeah.
Okay. And were core subjects and quant aptitude, were these also part of the selection criteria?
For internship, not much, but maybe placement will be, yeah.
ठीक है. So in the entire process, what do you think was the wow factor in your resume or in your profile?
So it was spread across various domains like web dev, AI, ML, and then data analytics. So I had a base over all these things. I had explored many domains, and also that my hackathons. I think that was another wow factor in my resume. Hackathons and almost the achievements of hackathon.
Okay. So what one interview preparation or what is one placement preparation advice that you think is overrated, which doesn't work or which didn't work for you?
Overrated, I wouldn't say overrated, but everyone talks about consistency. It's not overrated, it's actually true, but it's very difficult to follow. But then if we are able to follow, then it is definitely true that we can crack anything, be it even DSA or even a development. Consistency is important, and yeah, it's the same thing what everyone says, and it's true. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the one thing that you had to leave to actually get the offer? Like, what is that one thing that you think could have stopped you from getting an internship that you had to leave?
Even from first PU, second PU, I was used to doing many sacrifices during PU preparations and all. So I'm used to doing sacrifices. I don't actually realize. So, but then when I was writing the online assessment, I realized that there was some test cases. 5 out of 10 test cases were very hard to pass. I almost left. I was almost about to leave, but then I thought, okay, anyways, it's gonna go, let me just give it a try. And then finally all the test cases passed, and then later I got to know that only those of the people whose test cases, all the test cases is passed, only they had been screened. So I think I didn't, I am still happy that I didn't make that mistake of just leaving it, just giving up. So we should always try to do it till the end.
Okay. And in your entire preparation process, was there any mistake that if given a chance to redo and re-prepare from first year, is there any mistake that you would not like to repeat?
Breaking my streaks, because I realized that once I break the streak and then come back to either DSA or even any tech stack, like most any project, any web development related tech stack or anything, I realized that there's some sort of friction in my head. I feel like I have forgotten everything. I feel like revisiting the same thing again and again and repeating everything. But once I'm consistent, and when I'm consistent and come back to it the next day, I don't know, for some reason there is some lubrication in mind. It's very smooth for me to, and every concept feels fresh, even though I've done a lot of days back. But since I'm consistent, it feels fresh. So yeah, I would be more consistent. Even if it's little every day, be consistent.
Okay. And what is your advice for a student who is maybe starting their preparation from first year right now? What should they study in first year? What should they study in second year and third year?
Yeah, so I would tell them to have a base over everything, not just DSA and not just a project and also to maintain the CGPA, because we never know the opportunity can come from where. Maybe it can come because you're very good at DSA, or it can come because our projects are really good. And on top of that, it depends upon the interest also. But yeah, I would suggest the students not to neglect anything. Explore everything, explore all the tech stacks which are available, the frameworks which are there, and have their hands-on skills skills and everything. And what is more important is to practice it and not just theory, because we may think to ourselves that, okay, this is right, this is wrong, and we should do it like this. But until and unless we start implementing it, nothing actually works. So I would ask them to have their hands-on skills and just start doing it, practically implement it more than theories.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Yes, ma'am. So recently, my perception towards DSA has changed. Before, I used to just look at DSA like getting the solutions. I used to regret and I used to feel guilty when I couldn't get the solutions, and I used to blame myself. But now that perception has changed, now I look more at it towards understanding the problem. So I read the problem, I understand, and if I already know that pattern, then I try to do it. Otherwise, I feel really happy that I've come across this pattern, and I try to add it to my dictionary. And even if I know the optimized approach for it, I always go from brute force to optimized, because when I do the brute force, that's exactly when I know, okay, this is what is lacking in brute force, this is the loophole, and if this is fixed, then I can move to the optimized approach. So always move from the brute force to the optimized approach. People usually speak about the number of questions solved in lead code, but what is also important is number of submissions for each question, because that shows you moved from brute force to optimized to an even more optimized. So that is also another important thing.
ठीक है, तो I think we have covered almost everything that we wanted to ask.
Yes, ma'am.
So Monisha, tell us about the role of friends that you had in college.
Yes, ma'am. Friends are an indispensable part of life. What I would say is some friends create a negative impact on you, and at that moment we don't realize, but later in the future we realize how much of a negative impact it has caused on us. And in order to revert ourselves back from that situation to how we were before and get our stature back, it's very time consuming, and it's a very painful process. So we should be mindful of the friends we make. And also at the same time, some friends make us feel inferior, like we have this inferiority complex, maybe because they're better than us or maybe because they're smarter than us. But that's when we shouldn't feel like, okay, maybe we should change the friendship. No, we have to be in that friendship because there is so much to learn from that kind of friends. We have to just stay with them, and after some time, even if we don't do anything, we just start picking up the good traits, the way they react to a situation, the way they understand and solve a problem. So yeah, that's one.
Okay. Are there any personal experiences of yours that you would like to share?
Yeah, sometimes I feel maybe down when no, that's
Okay. So in your entire hiring process, what do you think was more important to you? Was it DSA or was it development?
DSA.
DSA. ठीक है. Okay, so I hope कि Monisha की journey से we have gotten to learn a lot of things that we'll also apply in our tech placement preparation journey. And I wish you all the best for your upcoming interviews for placements and for internships. आज के लिए इतना ही, मिलते हैं next session के अंदर. Till then, keep learning and keep exploring.
I'm in line with the stars, I'm in sync with the earth. 10 toes deep, flower child from the turf. I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad, let her ties in the hurt.